Hello, Steve Mills here, and I'm back with another version of my podcast. It's great to be back on results, sharing with you, hopefully, some great results for you and your business. And today I wanted to talk to you about your website and specifically the structure of your website. Now, just to clarify, I'm not talking about, whether you have a homepage on the left and then a blog and then a about us page and so on and so forth, but rather I'm talking about the structure of each of your sales pages. On the sales page on your website, what does the structure look like? Is it consistent, and is it as good as it could possibly be? Now again, I want to be really clear on this. I'm not talking about the About Us page. I'm not talking about the Contact Us page or any of those, what I call the typical page. And I'm talking about your product pages where you say, this is a product, this is a service that we offer. And, you're wanting people to take action, to read this page and to do something as a result of it, i.e. pick up the phone or fill in the booking form and pay you some money. So those are the pages that I'm concerned about. So the first thing I want you to think about is the headline. What's the headline of the page? This is the most powerful part of the page. It's the most important part of the page. And as in the good old days where we used to advertise in newspapers and magazines, there was an old saying that said that the headline is actually the advert for the advert. And that's still true today as it always was. So, think about the headline. We then want to go straight into what is the problem. What's the problem that people have got? And one of the mistakes I see a lot is people put up a page and then it goes straight in to tell you about everything that you're going to do. Now, until and unless you know there's a problem, how are you going to solve that problem? I always remember listening once to Tony Robbins, and he said in sales, it's about giving people a headache and then offering an aspirin. And Robbins is always very clear, I think, about the way he presents things and describes things. And that's a really good analogy. Without a headache, without you explaining the problem I've got, then why would I buy your service? Why would I buy the aspirin until and unless I've got a headache? And in business and in life, we all go around with headaches, with problems, but we're not necessarily focusing on them because we've got so many of them that, we just don't have time to focus on every single area of our lives, our businesses that we want to improve. So we need to make sure that we do that. And to do that, we can use two things. They are away from motivation and towards motivation. And again, one of the mistakes that I see a lot is most marketing folks focuses on the towards motivation. In other words, it focuses on, buy my product and, you'll get all these benefits, all these new things, all this, you'll make millions of pounds and everything will be great. And the truth of the matter is that as human beings, our brain is 2 million years old, and it is basically ingrained within us to be more, what's the word I could use, more associated, more focused on moving us away from the pain that we might have to the pleasure that we could get. So think about those, but use both of them by all means, but think about what is the problem that people have that would make them need your product or service. So that's step one, get that right, and that could be a few paragraphs, might only be one paragraph. The next step, I believe, should be a video. Video is really, really powerful. And by the way, in the video, you're going to use this problem and options technique that I'm just about to show you. So it'll be written on your page, but it will also be the script in a way for the video. So add a video. Why? Because you can be far more persuasive on video. People will buy into you on video. People will, hopefully anyway, as long as you do a good job on the video, people will get to know, like, and trust you. And therefore, video is very, very powerful on the web. So have a video on each page. The next thing is to talk about the options. If I used an example of from my business, I could say to you, if you don't do anything, then what's going to happen? You're going to have the same results that you're currently happening, which aren't necessarily as good as you want them. So one option is to do nothing. Another option is to do some research and go and find a variety of people that would be able to help you. Another option might be to do the service in-house and pay somebody full-time to do it. Another option might be to do it yourself and see if you can learn the skills or have got the time to do it. So there are various options that you can put before people. You're then going to tell them what you can do. What can you do? And if you take my advice, one of the things you might want to think about, if it's possible and appropriate for this page, is what are the 3 things that you can do to remove the problem that person's got? Because some people, you take LinkedIn, for example, and the LinkedIn training that I do. Some people just want an online program that they can access whenever they want, 24/7 from anywhere in the world. They don't want to come to my office and spend the day with me. They just want to access some training. Other people, as an upgrade from that, want to come along to the workshop. Some people want to come on a 6-week program, and others actually say, do you know what? We just want to outsource the whole thing to you. You do all our social media, Steve, or you do all our LinkedIn, and we've now got that taken care of. So I'm offering different services at different levels to different people. And that's something I recommend that you think about. The next thing is, how much it costs. Now, should you always have how much it costs on your website? Well, I'd say no, you don't have to have that. But if you do have that, you need to be very clear about the benefits that people are going to get. If I said to you, my LinkedIn training's £130, and on average, people make between £20,000 and £40,000 a year in additional income. All of a sudden, that £120 or £150 or £200, whatever it is I charge for the service, becomes almost irrelevant. In fact, it becomes totally irrelevant, to be honest. So it's about positioning the price as well as stating the price. Next becomes what others say. Now, my mum always taught me that it's important what you say about yourself, but it's even more important what other people say about you. And how true is that? And it's as true today as it was when I was a little lad back up in Sheffield. So what other people say about me, I believe, is very, very important. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about testimonials. I'm talking about case studies. I'm talking about video testimonials. Having or adding video testimonials to each and every web page and making sure that they're appropriate to that particular page. So, for example, if I've got a sales training page on my websites, then I need videos, testimonials, and written testimonials about my sales training, not about my LinkedIn. I know this is fairly obvious, but it's amazing how many times I see this on websites. Or I see people who've got they tell me that, well, we've got a testimonials page, Steve, it's over here. But there's no testimonials on any of their sales pages. And so people don't read them. And so there's very little value in those pages. So, make sure that you've got that on there. Now, finally, and most importantly, the next thing you need is a CTA, a call to action. Now, let me be clear on this. It's great. Let me just take a step back. Most websites that I see, most sales pages on websites don't have a call to action. And so if you've not got one, then add one. That's a given. But where are you going to put it? Are you going to put it at the bottom? You certainly should put it at the bottom, but what about in other places? Why couldn't you, basically describe the problem and then have a call to action? And then add a video and then add a call to action. State the options that people could take and then add a call to action. State the investment and then add a call to action. And then write a section with what others say, including 9 or 10 testimonials, and then guess what? Add a call to action. So that, for me, is a better way of structuring a web page. You don't have to do it like that. That's what I do. And, if you carry that out, then you may find that you increase the number of inquiries, leads, sales from your website. So thanks ever so much for listening. If you want to know more from me, by all means go to my website, which is www.stevemills.co. If you want to take action and actually move your business forward and start winning more business, then you might want to book a strategy review meeting. This is a free meeting with me. Can be done in our offices. It could be done over the phone, or it could be done online. So thanks ever so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon on my podcast. Thank you.